Thanks, John. Hi, welcome to Hanging on Monday Nights. I'm your host tonight, Brian. We have all kinds of people here. We got Eric from New Hampshire. I'm just going in order here as I'm seeing them on my screen. We got Matt, who's muted, and I don't know what he's doing, but I don't know, probably singing a song or something that we don't want to hear. He's up in the Twin Cities. We got Buddy in Chicago, trying not to get shot at. We got Jay, I'm assuming, in Vegas.
I'm in Vegas.
He's in Vegas. We've got John in Boston. Boston John.
Hi.
That's our lineup tonight. And I know that we're doing this show, we're recording it the day after St. Patrick's Day. So I'm not sure how you all are feeling. I had said earlier that I don't drink and I'm not Irish. So yesterday was Sunday and I feel fine today. I don't know how the rest of you are doing, but I hope you're hanging in there.
Oh, all right. Well,
I know you're professionals. I mean, that I do know. So
I wish there was more time to party. Yesterday was a work day.
yeah.
well, that's good if you can work on St. Patrick's Day.
You know,
Let
the newbies have fun.
Right, the amateurs, yes, the new ones. I've got something to talk about. I did a video the other day, and I think it would be a really interesting discussion for the room if you're up for it. It's kind of a two-part thing. I actually mentioned Jay and his wife in my last video.
Nice. I have not seen it yet.
Well, then this will be a surprise for you.
Excellent. Excellent.
I got a question for the room. I'll go around the room just to get an answer from each one of you. And there's no wrong answers here.
Excellent.
Think about the types of events that you do. All the events that you do. Whether they're bar, club, festival, wedding, birthday party, whatever. Here's the question. If you weren't being paid to be there, would you want to be there?
Yep.
And I'll tell you why I'm asking the question. I was out with the kids the other day. We did some crate digging. It was their idea, not mine. Oh, and you'll love this, Jay. We did this in Racine.
Oh, God.
We went to Racine for records.
I
So
have those albums tested for heroin and drugs.
yeah, they're right there, and I'll maybe show some of them when we do Boston John's record roundup. Whenever we do that, maybe I'll show some of those.
Whole new meaning to look at the lines. Just saying.
But anyway, on the way back, we were with Andy's brother Kyle, and he suggested we stop to eat at this roadhouse, like a proper Patrick Swayze roadhouse too.
Nice.
Where, you know, there was a stage, there was a rock, like a legit rock band doing a sound check. Drummer, the lead singer screaming, you know, they're going to do some 80s rock stuff. And we sat down, and our servers came to the table and took our orders, very nice. But they were young. They're young ladies. And I asked myself, you know, in any other circumstance, would they even step foot in this place unless they were being paid? Because I'm thinking to myself, this is totally not their scene. They're young girls with tight jeans and phones in their back pockets, and they've got streaks in their hair, and everybody there is probably 35 plus, and they're playing hard rock music, and there's poker machines in there, and it's just got that whole roadhouse vibe, which is cool, but I couldn't think of any circumstance where these girls would be there if it wasn't a gig where they were being paid.
Tight jeans, streak. What's the name of this place?
So I was thinking this would be an interesting question for DJs because we do parties. Would we attend them or not? So that's the first question. There's two questions that I'm actually going to ask in this, or things I'm going to talk about. So that's the first part of it. No wrong answers. Eric.
I don't know if this is part two of your question, though.
No, this is part one.
I know, but is this a place that I've worked at?
Yeah. Think about the gigs that you do.
Yes.
And ask yourself,
okay,
if you weren't being paid to be there, would you attend? Would you just go as a customer or as a guest?
I'm going to answer yes, and I'll follow it up with why.
Please do. Yeah.
And it's, if I only go on the night I work, I know nothing about this place. I want to attend when I'm not working to get a better feel for the joint, you know?
Yeah.
And also, if there's other entertainment, see what my competition is on the night that I work.
Sure.
You know? That's the reason why I would say, yes, I would attend these places.
All right.
All right.
Matt, would you like to answer this question for us? We know you're doing a lot of karaoke bars. Is there a place that you would go to on your night off if you weren't working there that you would enjoy going to?
I'm probably thinking no.
It's an honest answer, and I appreciate that. Under no circumstance would you go to any of these places
Well,
in your free time.
two of my 3 karaoke shows that I do.
He's from Minneapolis. Does
on-
karaoke. Just saying.
Karaoke.
Ribbit.
Okay, karaoke, however you want to say it. I'm on the north end of the Twin Cities metro area, and two of my 3 shows are on the south side of the metro. So we're talking like
Okay.
an hour drive from where I
Okay.
am.
Okay.
So yeah, so it just doesn't make any sense for me to drive that far on a night off
Sure.
for no reason. So
Assuming it was
my
closer,
other
would you
gig-
go? I mean, I'm just curious. Would it be a place you'd
Maybe.
like to go hang out,
um,
or a scene that you would
yeah.
dig? Well, you're a singer.
Well,
You can go to a karaoke bar.
I am, but the thing is I'm the one that runs the only karaoke show that they have in those places.
Right. Pretend that there was somebody
And,
else there and they were a decent host. Would you go?
If it was closer, yeah.
If you were closer.
I'd like to see.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right on. That's what I'm
but
at.
at the same time, I think I would be, you know, I feel like I couldn't just like sit there. I think I'd probably be like critiquing all night,
Understood. I do that too.
Yeah.
kind of a thing. So yeah.
Do that a lot on mobiles and going into, and you know what? I only do it anymore now that I'm older. I only do it if it's painfully obvious there's an issue. If everything's going smooth, I leave it alone. But
Yep.
if there's repetitive speech patterns, if it's too loud, if there's lights in my eyes, then I start thinking, But if everything's good, I keep my mouth shut and I just dig the vibe, you know?
Yep.
Hey, buddy, how about you? Think about the events that you do, mostly wedding receptions. Would you want to attend a wedding that you're playing at? Do you think you would enjoy yourself?
Well, the question then becomes, am I invited to said wedding? Because
Let's pretend you are.
okay, yeah, I would go. The thing for me, and this is the other thing I was thinking of, even if I don't do like a bar or a restaurant, I have been at bars or restaurants. I know I don't drink. I've been at places that have a DJ doing whatever. I am an equipment geek, so I want to geek out on speakers, geek out on software, controller, computer. And, talk to them how I do stuff and how they do stuff, and understand why they do things. So I like geek out and with the other DJ who's there, and want to be friends with them and hopefully build a friendship and build a bridge with them. But to me, it's just one of the things that I feel that for me, it's part of the fun. It's part of like, ooh, what is he running? What speakers? Ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? And asking questions and picking someone else's brain and seeing, hey, maybe I'm doing something right, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I could teach them. Maybe they could teach me something. But the thing is that to me is a big thing. Gear always excites me. I'm a gear hound.
I'm seeing a pattern of analytical stuff, and that's cool. I think we all kind of do that, whether it be equipment or performance or programming, speech patterns. I mean, I do it too. Whether I want to or not, I do it. How about you, Jay? Would you attend the types of events that you play? Would you enjoy yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Free food, free booze, good party. Like it always shocks me every week at a wedding. I'm like, people look depressed. I feel like going over to them going, hey, I'm going to kill it tonight. You guys going to dance. You've had free food, free booze. You got a beautiful view. You got the ocean, whatever the circumstance, I also want to say that I'm now going to be going to the major publications as well as Just Shocking News TV. And I'm going to ask that moving forward, the new expression will be, I got buddied at my wedding. And what that means is that this geek came up and wouldn't leave you the hell alone talking about gear. Yeah, what software is that? Like, I appreciate his excitement, but I do want to make that an expression.
Yeah.
Might be a T-shirt. I got buddied last night.
I got buddied.
And it won't be anything bad.
No. I had a buddy last night.
And then on the back, you're going to put, and I think he was drinking pop.
Did you hear me?
P-O-P.
Pop.
Did you hear me?
Right.
No.
No, the phrase is, I had a buddy last night.
There you go. Even better.
Yeah.
Or if we could, I could make a call when I'm in Vegas. He might be here. I could call Sir Elton John and see if, like, somebody saved my life tonight. We could go there.
We had a whole bunch of buddies last week.
Yeah.
I only had one buddy this week.
There we go. Yeah. No, I think I haven't been an invited guest at a wedding in 24 years.
Wow.
I've not attended a wedding as a guest because everyone says the same thing. Yeah, dude, get married. Oh, congratulations.
Did you
That's
do
awesome.
it?
We didn't invite you because we figured you were working.
It started happening with me, with Blanca and her family, who wasn't aware that I did it or just didn't make the connection or hire me. But yeah, everybody else is the same thing with me. I don't get invited. I'm asked to do it.
Oh, figured you were
they
working.
assume I'm busy. Yeah, one or the other.
And if it probably isn't a question, but as the side answer to a question that wasn't asked, I do my best to not DJ close friends events because I think it's a recipe for disaster.
Okay.
That said, not knowing when this will air, what century or decade, this coming Saturday, I'm doing the second daughter of 3 for a really good friend of my wife's who went to flight attendant school in Chicago. Outside of Chicago, like something park for United Airlines.
Oak Park?
So I think Oak Park. I think that's it. So I'm doing her second daughter's wedding and totally cool, totally chill. It'll be fun in Palm Springs. But it's that rare time that I do friends, kids, or something events because otherwise it just blows up in your face sometimes. But yeah, I'd love to go to a wedding if anyone wants to invite me.
So John, and we will, before we go to John, go ahead and mention our sponsor, DJ Event Planner. We'll learn all about them and our other sponsors down in the description of this video on YouTube. Thank you, DJ Event Planner, for sponsoring this video and letting us be here to share all this great stuff with everybody out there who's glued to either YouTube or perhaps even the podcast that they're listening to in their car. Thanks, guys. So, John.
It's us. They love us. They come here for us.
They do. Yeah.
We've got the secret sauce.
Bars open.
That's us too. I'm probably 60-40 with more clubs, bars than weddings because that's more what I gravitate to. If I was DJing it, I would attend. If I wasn't DJing, but it was the same venue and someone else was playing, I'd still want to go. I'm always curious to see what other people are playing and how other people mix and put things together. I mean,
you'd buddy the event is what you're saying.
No, not to be a pain and hovering over him all night trying to read his white labels from over his shoulder.
I never say I hover over people. Come on.
Buddied again.
You kind of gave that impression a little bit.
I would notice if you were hovering over me. Like, what's that shadow?
He's like a drone, a human drone.
I feel hot breath on my neck. What's going on here?
Is that a rain mixer?
No, it's a buddy.
No, I'd be very curious to see the programming, the playlist.
Something happened.
It's not in Vegas.
Matt's got a comedy show on.
Poker is less about bluffing.
I just thought of a T-shirt idea.
Oh, his
A
mom.
buddy T-shirt.
It's his mom again. Mute your mic when you're not talking because your mom's
Okay, I will.
watching her novellas back there.
I'm the one in Vegas, and you don't hear any poker talk from me.
All right. So yeah, some yes, some no for you, John, right?
Yeah, so if it was clubs and bars, absolutely, because I'd still want to see what it's doing on a night I'm not there. And even if it was someone who was playing my exact same set list but in their own arrangement, I'd still want to hear that.
So everybody pretty much said that it's analytical. They want to go and check out what other people are doing, except Jay, who just wants to drink and eat.
For
Because I don't get to.
For free.
For free.
Yeah, but isn't it understood, whatever occupation you have, you're always going to be, when you're not the one producing, you're watching those that are. and trying to learn.
You do.
I think it almost goes, and I don't want to take the liberty, but it almost goes without saying, I would love to go watch someone DJ. If the question was, if you weren't getting paid, would you still do the event?
No, that's not the question.
No, I know. I'm saying, but when I first saw the caption of the video, I'm like, oh, I read it very quickly, and I said, oh, like if I hit the lottery tomorrow, would I still go do weddings? Absolutely, because I enjoy what I do.
Right.
I would love to go watch another DJ do an event, like John said and Buddy said, and Eric and Matt, and probably you, just to learn. Like, oh man, I never thought of that mix. Too. Yeah,
now, I'm going somewhere with this. I am, and that was going to be in the second part of the question. Before I give that second part of the question, which is actually going to be a little bit of an interview process, bear with me. I'll give you my answer, which is it depends on what we're talking about. I thought about this, and the first thing I thought about was Safe House, the place that I DJ on a seasonal basis. It'll be coming up again very soon. Would I go there? Yeah. In fact, I was just there 2 weeks ago with the kids eating. And if music kicked in and the DJ was cool, I might stick around for it. I like the place. I like the vibe. I'm digging it. As a civilian, I would dig it. And I would try not to sit there and critique the DJ all night. If the DJ was doing their job, I would not do that. And then I thought about Potawatomi, the casino I was doing in February. Yeah, I go to Potawatomi to eat. They've got a Rock and Brews in there. Stevie and I went in there, had a burger a while back. I saw George Carlin perform there, and I've gambled there. And I try not to gamble a lot, but yeah, I've been to Potawatomi as a civilian.
Buffalo!
If yeah, a lot of that. If there was music going on, like as a DJ or whatever, if it was cool, maybe I'd stick around. Maybe if I was there with, and I've done it before, I've been there with Blanca and her mother and Jeannie. We've hung out at just the bar. Yeah, if there was a cool DJ, we'd probably hang out. And then I thought about this other place I DJ'd one time last year.
Oh,
it was a sports
I know where this
bar.
is going. Yeah.
It was a sports bar with pool tables, poker machines, dartboards. The game was on the screen. I would never go to this place. I might go there during the day to get a burger, but I would never go there at night and hang out and listen to music. It's not my scene. And then the weddings,
Well,
that always depends on the situation. If it's somebody in my family, I get to see my whole family, so I'm enjoying going to something like that. If it's one of Blanca's friends and maybe I don't know a lot of people, I'll go, but maybe I wouldn't be like 100% into it. I'm a +1 and I'm there. Yeah, how was the meal? I've got to sit through the music now. I don't know. It kind of depends. And here comes the second part.
I was going to say your arm candy at that point, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, you're +1.
That's right. You're her support network.
Yeah.
You're literally just there to support the person.
Yeah.
Okay, that's exactly right. So now I'm going to go to Jay, and I got to ask him about something.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I ask you about the Barry Manilow concert.
My voice. Hold on.
this is part 2 or no?
This is part 2.
Okay.
Now, I don't need the whole story,
Yep.
but I need to know the Barry Manilow story. You talked to somebody, a mutual friend or a friend of yours, who said,
Yes.
yeah, Barry was fantastic. You should
Yep.
go.
Yep.
So it was your idea to go to see Barry Manilow.
Yes.
Was Michelle into the idea at all? At first, initially, was she into it?
Yes. It was a surprise. So I didn't tell her till like late in the day. And
Okay.
it was literally a Saturday. And
And
it was her birthday weekend. And I said, hey, we're going somewhere special tonight for your birthday. Where? Because she hates surprises.
Right.
She's that, like, I need to know. And I finally just said, okay, we're going to see Barry Manilow. And she was thrilled.
Right.
And I didn't think she was a huge fan. I just thought it would be a good Vegas show. But we got there and she loved it. And he was amazing. But I go back to the Could It Be Magic days of the 70s.
Right.
Before anyone in the room except Eric, who's like 100, was
Knock
even
it
born.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just let him have it. Let Grandpa
Loved it.
have it. Just let him have it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, and I won't go into detail on the price and everything, but it's the most I've ever paid for a show
Okay.
or a concert, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It really was. It was amazing.
Do you
I
remember
asked-
the price? Do you remember the price?
Well, he doesn't.
Yeah.
We don't go into it. But
I don't want to go into it, but just because I didn't tell her,
Okay.
Yeah.
it was.
Pricey.
Put it this way: it was under $500
All right.
for
So-
two people.
Okay. So I asked you a question about that show. Do you remember the question I asked you?
That
I asked
first
you
I-
if Barry said anything. So I asked him if Barry said something specific. Do you remember the question I asked you?
no,
Probably don't. So
I
I'll tell the
know
story.
because I read your post.
I'll tell the story.
Go ahead.
So back in probably 84, 85,
Right.
all my siblings live out of state. And back in the old days, everybody used to come here for Thanksgiving with mom and dad. So I'm the only kid that lives in Wisconsin. Everybody else is Oklahoma or Indiana or something.
Arizona.
Well, back then it was Oklahoma,
Oh,
But-
okay.
but there was no Arizona yet.
Just in case you had
Right.
forgotten where your family was, I thought I'd pipe in. And
I appreciate that, Jay. Thank you. So my big sister, who now lives in Arizona, was whatever, it's irrelevant, a Barry Manilow mega fan.
Mm.
Like all the pop standards. Neil Diamond, Barbra Streisand, all that stuff. Barry
All
Manilow
good,
was
all
her
good.
dude, right? My other sister, I think she's fine with Barry Manilow, but not a big fan or anything.
No.
So mom decides to surprise my sisters with Barry Manilow tickets. He happens to be playing Thanksgiving weekend in Milwaukee, so she buys them tickets. And they go to the show. And I'm bummed out that I didn't get a ticket because I would have dug it. But at the time, I was probably in like a metal phase or something, and mom figured I didn't want to go. But I'd have loved it. And I told her that. You should have got me a ticket. She was surprised. But anyway. So they come back. My big sister, who's a fan, is very quiet. She hasn't said a word. And mom's like, oh, no, she didn't have a good time. And said, no, actually, she lost her voice from screaming the whole time. She was going nuts. And my younger sister told us that he said something that he also said when Jane and Michelle went to go see Barry. And that was, hey, look, I know not everybody here is into my music.
Yeah.
Some of
could
you
say
are
that.
here with a +1 and you got dragged along for this. And I really appreciate you being here. But you know what? Let's have a good time regardless.
100%.
Mhm.
Maybe that's something we can learn from Barry Manilow. That's why I asked the first question. Maybe there's an event that you do as a DJ that you would never attend. Ask yourself why you wouldn't go. And is there anything that anybody could do on a DJ level to make it more bearable for you? I thought it was an interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. Of course, now when you word it like that with the explanation, my brain immediately goes to the 2 quinceañeras I did in the last year and a bat mitzvah.
Uh-huh.
And there's nothing a DJ could have done to make me walk out of there and go, oh, so much. Because it's not an area that I'm that into, even though I agree with the Barry Manilow statement of just kick back, relax, and try to enjoy. They just aren't events that even as the DJ, you kind of go, okay, I can do this, but I can make my bed too. And it's not a thrill of the day. I don't walk away going, look at the bed I made.
Do you
And
remember?
it's kind of like that.
Do you remember the band Take That?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody in the comment section of a video I did, I thought was really interesting, said they used to open as a DJ for a Take That cover band. And it was kind of the same thing. These girls were dragging their guys along. And the band would say, hey, look, we know you're not all into this, but we really appreciate you coming. And they do a couple of songs for other people that they might like.
It's a smart move.
It is. It's very disarming. It takes
Yeah.
edge off the person who doesn't want to be there. And they're not
100%.
like this. It's like, oh, you know that I'm here. I've been recognized. And
Yeah.
you know that I'm not into you, but you're gonna do
Right. You see
make
me.
it fun.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
And Jay
kind of a
mentioned
message.
bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. And that got me thinking about a bar mitzvah I did, years ago. And if you've ever done a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah, everybody's 13 years old.
Right.
Except for the family members and people mom and dad invited. And this was not a high-end thing. This was just a nice, chill bar mitzvah. But it was going to be all about the kids. So as we're setting up, I asked the dad what he's into. He says, that doesn't matter. It's for the kids tonight. But you know what? I really like Bob Marley. I put on the Funk Star Deluxe remix of Sun is Shining. And that guy was like, while they were setting up, and he was like, oh my God, I've never heard this. This is fantastic. You could totally play something like this for kids and they'd like it. And I enjoy it. This is great. So I just did something to disarm this guy. So he got a little something. Like I saw him, I recognized him.
You know what? I've got to tell this story very quick, and it's very, very short. I did a father-daughter dance, and you may remember it because it was the time I met Carol and Tom at the Riviera.
Okay.
At Mobile Beat, and it was going to snow that Thursday night or that Friday morning, and Michelle called and said, you need to come home Thursday night.
Oh, and you got stuck in the storm.
I made it through, but
okay.
I'm not a fan of driving through the desert at night because if you get wind shear, you don't see it coming. You can't see the trees blowing in the bushes and all that. So I went home Thursday night. The next morning, Kevin, our production guy, left Vegas at, I think, 8 a.m. and got to Orange County at 6:30 at night. It's normally a 4.5 hour drive. So it was catastrophic. I made my father-daughter dance, but I took exactly what you just said. And when I got there, I realized, so there's like 400 people here, which means there's 200 little girls and 200 dads.
Right.
So if I pulled up my playlist, you'd look at it and be like, this is totally not for kids. But you know what? They all danced all night because I realized if I make the dads comfortable, they'll say, hey, come on, let's dance because it's their daughter.
Right.
And the daughter doesn't care. They're not judging the dads.
Yeah.
Normally dads are judged by the crowd, the wives, the family at a wedding, bar mitzvah, whatever. But I learned something so critically important that day. If you do a dance, something like a father-daughter, mother-son dance, if you play to the parent, the kids have a blast. And you think when you walk in the door, all right, I'm just going to play age appropriate. Mm-hmm. But you don't. You play to the older people, the actual dads, and they rage. And all the kids want is to be happy.
I don't remember who gave me this tip, but whoever it was, I'm going to say thank you now. This was years ago.
Boy.
I did one of Art's kids' schools, and it was a father-daughter dance. And it was for 3 hours. And I thought that was brutal because these were young kids.
Yep.
Just that's a brutal amount of time.
It is.
So I was thinking, I'm just going to do activity after activity after activity. And somebody suggested musical chairs and let the dads referee this thing. Oh my God, that was amazing. Because the dads got into coach mode and had so much fun with this. If there was a dispute over who got the last chair, they did a rock, paper, scissors. No one argued. All the dads were into the game. It was cool. It was so cool. And I didn't have to do anything except
and it got everybody involved. It got everyone involved, and that's the point. It's great,
Well, I think your point, Brian, is you play to the weakest link. I've said this. You've said it. If you can, I've always said every wedding I've ever done, I present myself in my head as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And what could the DJ do tonight that would make me leave early?
Yeah.
First and foremost, too loud.
Too loud.
Second, boots in the dryer all night long. Like, that's jarring. I don't like that.
And boots and pants and boots and pants.
Most importantly, music, because I know it's happened to you, and I'm sure it's happened to Buddy, John, Matt, everyone in the room. I've gotten people to come up at the end of the night and go, "Hey man, great job. Really appreciate it, man. You killed it. Thank you. Do you have a card? Yeah. Great. We're going to call you, or we're getting married next summer." Oh, okay, cool. You get the call. "Hey, we're the couple that came up at the wedding." You go to meet with them or talk on the phone. You start talking about music and they go, "Hey, we should tell you, we didn't dance at the wedding."
Right.
"Oh, you didn't?" "No, we don't dance. We're not into it. But you played great music all night. It wasn't too loud. The mixes were good. And we just had a lot of fun
You
because
were
it was
engaging.
great background for us."
I think a lot of people confuse success with dance.
It's the icing on the cake.
It is.
I always say that.
It makes
we
us
all
feel
want
good.
it. I want it. I know I want it inside. The success is gauged on, I had a full dance floor. And
Right.
I've said this famously. We've all had the review on Wedding Wire, The Knot, whatever. "Oh my God, my wedding was awesome. They danced all night." And I'm like, I was your DJ. I maybe had 10 people out there at a clip. What are you talking about? There was 300 people. But the
Right.
perception of the bride and groom was they danced all night. It was packed.
It always looks like more people are dancing from the audience's perspective. I've noticed
I
that.
think so, because they see
So,
people
yeah.
right around them.
Right.
But
if you're
you
the DJ,
keep
it looks
them-
sparse. But if you go into the audience and look at it, you're seeing silhouettes moving around, and
Right.
there's a lot of people out there.
Real quick, last weekend's wedding, the grandfather, they split the ceremony with two people, the best man, and then he stopped and said, "I'd like to bring up the groom's grandfather to finish the ceremony." He came up and did the vows with a very thick Southern accent. And when I had met him to get him mic'd up, I said, "Sir, where's your accent from?" He said, "I'm from Alabama." I didn't park Leonard Skinner right at the top of my head. I did. So third song into dancing was Sweet Home Alabama. This was, I've never seen during the song, like on the chorus, Sweet Home Alabama, all night long. I'd never seen someone yell out all
Yeah.
night long,
That's
So it was
big one
like,
if you're from Alabama.
oh, is that an Alabama
That's
thing?
the flag.
Is
Yeah,
that
I don't think you
okay.
can do that anymore.
But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
probably
It's
not.
like you get these moments where you go, "Oh, I know what I'm going to do later." Because even though the grandfather is in his 80s and he's not a big dancer, if their grandfather's from there, I'm sure there's other we
Yeah.
have a process. I think we're so underestimated for how much we put into the event from
Well,
our experience
right.
and everything around us. And I think that's the big dividing rod in the middle of the road. Like, I just do weddings, or I'm good at doing weddings because I'm giving it my all and trying to create a moment that these people walk away from like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
Well, before I move on, I think you all should have been a little more impressed that I lifted both arms in the air and did that, but that's neither.
I
here nor
wanted to
there.
comment, but the way you did
Yeah.
it at first, I thought it was some sort of a protest thing against
I didn't
John
want to
Young,
bring attention.
because I know that's an anti Huey Lewis thing. I don't
Physically,
know
I thought you might.
if it still
think,
is.
you know,
no,
hey,
that's excellent that,
that
you
was
did that.
impressive.
It was very
It
impressive.
took
dude.
effort, and
I see a bead of sweat. I see a little something on the forehead.
Yeah. It's too late now, buddy.
Hey,
God.
I was just
No.
thinking about how
Buddy
when-
wasn't here. He was harassing this DJ over at
He
a
was
Kiwanis
buddying
club.
somebody.
He's got a
Somebody
wedding
else.
tonight.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about sometimes when I'm doing like the table round thing I do, where I just go around to the tables during dinner, introduce myself, ask anybody if there's something they want to hear. There's always some uncle who wants to hear Metallica or,
Yeah.
something that's just you wouldn't play. So during dinner, you do the string quartet thing.
Exactly.
He's seen, hey, that was really cool. You did that for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
A
It's
little
little
nod.
things like that you can just make their life easier, just or make them a little something. They carry that with them all night.
And I'm the first to admit, I am the ultimate bad boy when it comes to, it'd be great if you played this. And I
Play
get
Lola's
that.
theme.
I
What?
get on my high horse with like, I know exactly what would be great if you just left me the hell alone and let me do my job, because I got a full dance. Look at me, I'm great. But in the last few months, I've actually gotten off my high horse and been like, yeah, let me get that in the set. That's a cool track.
Try it. Yeah.
And you're right, because you get them coming back at the end of the night with the tip or with a comment or
Yeah.
a compliment.
You did one little dumb thing and they
you didn't-
remember it.
It's not going to kill you to break stride and throw something in there because you don't know the backstory. Maybe the whole family loves this track and you don't know that.
All right, they'll all come out.
But was it really a little dumb thing, Brian, or not? That's my question. No,
Well,
it wasn't. Right.
Ultimately, it was
I'm just
not,
saying
but I
what
mean,
you
it didn't take a lot of
said.
effort.
Right,
You know,
right.
Just to give somebody a little something.
Absolutely.
And instead of saying, you know what? No time for that today. No, a little something.
Yeah,
And
let me
then
work
all
that
of a
in.
sudden,
Give me a little bit and
yeah,
do it at your leisure, maybe.
you
but
gave
yeah,
them
help
you
them.
gave them 3 minutes out of like 4 hours.
Yeah, it's
and
not the end of the world.
They're looking at you like you're a hero. Thank
Yep.
you for seeing me. People appreciate that.
Take the challenge of how do I work Metallica in on this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I could do. Like Brian said, string quartet.
Sure.
Or let me do Unforgiven as the beginning of a slow dance and then mix in Al Green because I think I can do the same BPM. Or like be creative with it, but don't take it as a negative.
Right.
Don't tell me what to do. Take it as a challenge of,
Right.
oh, I see what you're saying. You love Hot Fudge Sundays,
They
but you
know
want
that you
peanut
can't
butter.
play this
oh,
all night. They're not
let me
going to
see
get.
how I can do this.
They're not going to come up and say, "Okay, now do some Slayer." They're not going to do that. They're hey,
well, no,
thank you for
can do
making
too,
that
Brian,
happen.
to be honest. Yeah.
They recognize that it wasn't the easiest thing to pull off, but you did it. You did it for
Right.
them, and they dig that.
First minute of Angel of Death, that's all you get, and then we're out.
That works. Or South of Heaven. If you just get that thunder and lightning sound effect, it could be like then mix into Riders in the Storm, do the 60s Doors throwback. Oh, I went there.
Now you went to
Do Rapture
Blondie.
Riders. That was always fun.
You could do that too.
That was
now you're a
fun.
mashup DJ.
I still like that track a lot.
I can hear, buddy, where'd you get this? What is this? I've never heard this.
He's heard Rapture Riders. That one.
Well, I have Scrapper's number. He's got these mixes, don't he?
Anybody have anything they'd
great.
like to add before we go ahead and put a fork in this tonight?
I would love to add. I just seen a post, and it kind of goes along with this, maybe a little bit.
And good night. Oh,
Your post, Brian, and it cracked me up. I've been laughing at it the last half hour. People who are actually busy don't have time to make posts all day about being busy.
It's true.
I've been laughing the last half hour after I read
is this on MySpace or Facebook?
MySpace.
Yeah,
I'm one of his
MySpace,
top.
man.
I'm one of his top 3 friends on MySpace.
You and Tom?
Yeah,
Hey,
Tom.
Tom, Eric,
Me too.
Oh, you know Tom? I know Tom. Tom's
and
my
Matt.
Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I
Wait
got.
a second, Tom's my friend.
Damn it. Cheating
Anyway,
on all of
put a
us.
fork in it. I need a cigarette. Will you?
I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show, brought to you by DJ Event Planner. More about them down in the description of this video. Yeah, they got 2 shout outs tonight. Who knows? Maybe they'll sponsor another show or something. Thank you very much. We'll